if you are a solo artist, software can sort of act like a band in some ways, in that you can try out different bass lines and different chord progressions. And I think really the power in that, even if you are someone who usually just writes, vocally and on a guitar or piano, there can be power in the software thing, just because it's so easy to change chords and change notes and change timing just by clicking your mouse around and doing it in a way that you would have never thought to otherwise. Like one thing that I'll do sometimes is I'll sing a melody that I came up with, and I'll sing it into Melodyne, which is like an auto-tune type of software, and it'll just start like pulling notes up and down, like into different spots in the key where I didn't originally think to sing them, but just to kind of hear what they sound like. And it can just give you such cool options that you weren't aware of before and you would never come up with before. Or sometimes that becomes your harmony, maybe, just different ideas that you're able to come up with because of technology, basically. It's just a really helpful thing. And I think you probably do need the thing to be careful with, I would say, with writing on software, is getting lost in all the different kind of sounds that you can make, and like focusing like so hard on what the bass is going to sound like, or whatever kind of synthesizer you're using, and almost having the melody and the lyrics become secondary to that. Because at the end of the day, it's like that song structure and your melody and your lyrics, that's your song. The other stuff is arrangement. It's secondary to those things. So I think you just want to be careful about not getting lost in those other things, because they can be fun to play around with when you're on, Logic or another DAW. So, just something to keep in mind.
Really time consuming. I have a student right now who we've been going through lessons using software, and she gets so caught up in all that stuff. And I'm like, look, just put a piano for the chords and a flute for the melody. She's like, a piano and flute? I'm like, yeah, because it's not going to distract you with all this interesting sound textures from all these, cool other patches they have, so that we can focus on hearing, how does the melody work with the chords only, and make sure that your songwriting is solid, and then put whatever instruments you want to it, and getting people to focus on some, those components of the song. Sometimes you got to really strip away all the distractions.
Yeah, and actually, I think that's actually a good case for learning songwriting, because you could say, like, now with software, you don't even have to know theory, you don't have to know playing an instrument. You could just go in, and not to say you could do something amazing in like a half hour, but you can start to learn some things and put together something that sounds sort of decent pretty quickly. And to me, that's even more the reason to get really good at actual songwriting, melody writing, and lyrics, because there's going to be so many people who just go in and just focus on the stuff that's, the type of sounds that they can get that sound good right away, that anybody could do, that if you're actually focusing on the craft of songwriting, and then you add that stuff kind of secondarily, like, you're going to be the one who's doing it right, who's really creating these great sounds and doing something pretty awesome. So, just a different way of thinking about it.
I've had a student or two who came to me wanting songwriting lessons, and they showed me what they had, and they did things exclusively with software. And I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, well, this is not a song. This is an arrangement with no song. There was no melody. There wasn't much in terms of chord progressions, or not. And they had a song structure, drums, bass, some basic chords thrown in there, and they spent a lot of time on the instrumentation of all that stuff. But there was no song, and I had to explain the difference between what a song is and what an arrangement is. An arrangement is how you build out all the instruments for your basic melody and lyrics, and sometimes you can think of chords as part of part of the song, but it's different, and so it's really easy to get lost with just the arrangement side of things with software, and not be spending time on the songwriting part of it. And I see that all the time, because so many people are calling themselves producers these days. Because they know computer software and can do a lot of stuff with it, but the knowledge about like how to really build a song is sometimes missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a definite case to be made to start learning all the production side of things after you've developed the craft side of things for that reason. It's too easy to get lost in the production side, and you could just go down that rabbit hole. I mean, if that's what you want to do and if that's what you want to learn, that's fine. But if you actually want to be a songwriter and a performer, I think you need to learn that stuff first before you dive in. Where can people go to learn more from you?
Well, they can go to songwritingplanet.com, and there's a form on the side where you can put in your name and email address and get information on a regular basis about how to improve your songs.
Okay, so hopefully that information helps you out. If you're looking for a lot more ways to improve your songwriting, I've got a couple of cheat sheets for you that you can download by tapping on the screen here. And if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel to stay updated on our latest songwriting videos, you can tap our logo on the screen for that. And I'll also have links for that stuff below this video. So thank you for checking this out, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.
We built this.